Five, four, three, two, one.
Hello, everybody. It's Gary-Dobbs here. Welcome to the Truck Show. Glad to have you with us. We got Thaddeus Archibald here as a co-host.
What's going on?
We're at Truck Show number 40. Oh, sorry about that, Thaddeus. Didn't mean to cut you off. How you doing there?
I'm doing good. I just said what's going on. It's another day. We're trying to get stuff together. We had a good talk before. I know he thought I wasn't paying attention, but I was. I'm just editing the sound. I guess when you get focused on something, you just get caught up in that, and then you're not really. It doesn't seem like you're paying attention. But I definitely was, man.
All right, man. Well, I think we got a pretty good show about today. It's the Truck Show number 40. You know, we were talking about Valuetainment shutting down, announcing that a couple days, and other opportunities entrepreneurs can have in the marketplace. So our show for today is are you evaluating opportunities? Right? Like, so when you know the direction that you want to go with your company, it's going to be much easier to say yes or no. So we will really want to get at the subject of you're doing so much, you're trying to make your company grow, you're trying to grow your business. Some things you might be working on are going to grow and grow and grow, but is it really serving the core value, the core mission of your company? Is it related? Are you going to shut it down? Like Valuetainment was shut down by Patrick Bet-David of the PHP agency. You know, so I was talking about that issue with you. Is like, it seemed to me, based on what he'd said and the move to shut it down, it seems like his core business is obviously at PHP agency. That's what pays the bills. That's the company where all of his wealth is tied into. So to me, it seemed like it just became a matter of time. Like, is he making any money with his Valuetainment, or is he not? Could he make much more money with PHP agency? I think so. Without him explaining it that way, I think that's what it was. It came down to bottom line, and he needs to keep investors happy.
Yeah. So I know he made this statement saying, like, I'm not doing this for the money, but when it started affecting the money, it's very interesting how convenient he stopped doing what he was doing. So
yeah,
I mean, that's the reason why I don't like to say things before. I don't like to try to say those kind of things. I like to just be honest. It was about leveraging something, and it's not working, or it's just by doing this, it's taking more of his time away from his family, and that's what I would like to believe.
Just what's that?
That it was probably about his family.
Your audio.
Yeah, it was about the. So you don't hear me right now?
No, I do. It came back. There we go.
Yeah.
So you were saying when you said talking about family, and then you said I liked.
Yeah, I like to think that's the reason why he cut it down or shut it down because of family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely a big part. Really important to him, right?
Yeah.
But we don't know. I mean, you shutting something like that down, I don't know if you can be honest, completely honest with your listeners, right? Because people have been tuning in and looking forward to everything that he shares. Because it is like free business school, you know. Valuetainment gave a lot of strategies, gave a lot of ways for people to think about how to run their business. Way beyond, I think, what most people would even understand how to run their business, right? I've worked for several other small businesses before, and the people, and I knew most of the time they have no planning whatsoever. They're just trying to grab as much money from the market and get sale after sale every week, that they have absolutely no planning or no direction on where the company is going to go, what they want the company to, what position they want the company to be in 2 years. What does it look like in 2 years? What does it look like in 3 years? So I think it's important. I think it's known. To me, I think Valuetainment he just saw that things were coming to light. You know, the bigger vision was coming up with PHP agency, and he felt like he definitely had to put more time in with that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think if you're growing a company, and if it's really growing, you need to even spend more time with it, because you want to make sure things don't fall apart. Sure that you're also growing successfully, and not just growing too fast. Because if you grow too fast, it could end up crashing at some point, especially if it's like a bubble in the market or a trend. Because once that goes away or the bubble pops, you're going to be left with a lot of operating expenses and no income, no revenue taking care of it.
So you look at this like the title of the show. Are you evaluating your opportunities? So what opportunity was he evaluating more? I
think what he was paying attention to was the demand of his business. PHP is a growing business, and it's really growing, and he is the CEO of CEO of the company. So he needs to lead that organization. He needs to put more time in and really be there to help grow the company and offer the support to the entire staff at PHP agency. That's my evaluation of it.
Yeah.
He seems like he's a real business-minded guy. He's smart about it, right? He's worked hard to get where he's at. He's not going to just let that go and focus on a pet project.
Yeah.
But he did say that he doesn't know what he's doing ultimately, but at the moment they're going to stop producing new content.
Yeah, man, think about how hard it is for us to do that. And he had a team, and there's a need for the information that he's giving out. And I don't know. So he definitely created a need. And basically what you're trying to do is like, hey, well, now that's our opportunity. Come to our space.
Yeah.
We are that, you know. He set the lineup. He set the area. If somebody was really good at understanding how to use that, they would definitely be really deep embedded in themselves and everybody who interacts on his YouTube, and figuring out ways how to not spam, but to direct people to come to the new medium. You know what I'm saying? Are you doing that right now?
Well, this was just something we talked about, right?
I'm just saying, what are you doing right now that you know this information? What's your plan?
Looks like, well, I think my plan is for us to make a plan for it.
So that's what I'm saying. Are you evaluating opportunities? Like, that's the name of this show, and I was like, hey man, I'm gonna call you out on it. If you're making the statement saying that, oh, he's leaving, and that's an opportunity because you're saying that his business is more important. Okay, then how do you see him doing that, producing that was an opportunity? And if he's leaving, that opens up a space for you. What are you doing about it? When you first saw that?
Well, when I first saw it about less than an hour and a half ago, it made me think, hey, he's got a pretty big audience that, you know, we can continue to serve in the meantime. So however long this hiatus is, you know, we could definitely provide value to that group listening to Valuetainment, because you and I both appreciate what he was doing, and we like what he's doing because we've also put out great content, put out things that can help people grow their business. But it's always good, you know, he's someone that I can respect and I look at, that I could say, yeah, you know, I like the way he's putting it out. Because the good thing for entrepreneurs out there is to get a variety of options for you, so you can find some information that's going to be helpful to you.
That you can use.
And you're getting it from a source that you actually know, like, and trust. You know, because I'd always like to spend my time with sources where I know the people, I like the people, and I trust them. If I don't have all those combinations, I need to have at least two. If I only have one, it's probably not going to be enough. If I just know of a group, know of an organization that's providing content out there, I need to know a little bit more why they're doing what they do. Is it really good, good quality content, good quality services, solutions that they're putting out, or is it just bait to bring people into the company to sell them something else? I definitely look at the way people market their companies and businesses, and how companies market is usually a big decider for me on whether or not I choose to work with them.
Okay.
So that's something that's important to me, that experience.
But I'm trying to say, like, okay, what is the plan now? Now, what were you, like, say for instance, you got this information, you said, oh, I got it just an hour ago. Okay. If somebody told you an hour ago, if you do this in 12 weeks, you'll have $100,000 if you follow this plan because this door opened. What are you going to do? How, for you as an entrepreneur,
I wouldn't just take their words as it would work. They have to have some credentials behind it before if I'm actually going to believe them.
Okay, this is what I want you to do. When I'm saying a story, like when I'm giving like an example, I'm meeting somebody who is credentialed. I'm not just like trying to pull it out of thin air. I'm saying like these things do happen. People will tell me, especially when I was working in my old job, if you do these things, this is how you get to that point. And once I did all those things and I ended to that point. So we're not talking about random people telling you, oh, do this and do that. Like I don't talk to those kind of people. I'm not around people who are dreamers that don't actually do nothing. I'm around doers. So if I say, hey, look, man, somebody tells you 12 weeks, you do this right here, guaranteed to get $100,000. The door open right here. This only happens because this door is open. How do you flip that? How do you take the void of him saying he's stepping down to let somebody else take over? Maybe he's just giving up the throne. He's like, look, I want somebody to take this right here, just like what you said a long time ago. I've been showing you what to do. Now somebody do it better than me. Somebody do it better than me, and they take the lead on it. You've been in the background, in the back scenes. You've been doing this right here. What are you going to do? I know you got your YouTube page. You got lots and lots of content. How are you going to market yourself? How are you going to find those people who are looking for that need of what he's saying? Or what is it?
Or what?
I'm asking you.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to finish your statement there. Well, yeah, it's something that I'd want to sit back in my lab and look at, like, try to come up with a lot of possibilities, look at different ways about how I can take advantage of that opportunity that he's shutting down his show. He's got 414,000 subscribers to that Valuetainment channel. How could we reach them? How can we serve that audience while he's on hiatus? So it's definitely something I'd want to sit back and plan and look at to see what we can do. I mean, can't just sit here and say on the show, okay, I'm going to do this, this, and that. I would have to actually sit back and look at what my resources are and see what type of opportunities, with the show, like where can I connect with this show and provide something that they're going to like as well. So one thing I would probably do is maybe we could think about new items of content or new something in the show that we could be doing to engage with his audience, in a way that they're used to engaging with Valuetainment, right? Continue to give them what they like so much over at Valuetainment. We can maybe try to produce some of that as well from the Treff Show to continue to get that, so they can continue to get that information, content, plans, approaches, strategies on their business that they like so much getting from Valuetainment.
Okay, man. So you just made a good point. 'point. 'You said you would plan. Okay. 'Okay. 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 ' how would you plan? Like, let's just take this. Let's pretend like this right here is an interactive thing that we're doing. Mm-hmm. You're the guy saying, look, if I were you, if I was a quarterback of this football team, if I was the CEO of this right here, if I was in control and I saw this opportunity, this is what I would do. Not necessarily knowing, but you have a plan on how you achieve a level or a leg in your progression. And I'm trying to see, hey, we got listeners out here. That's what Pat David was doing. How do you give people a leg? And like, look, this right here is a leg to get to the next part. This is how you can step up to the next level in this ladder of entrepreneurship.
Yeah. Well, the first thing, obviously, to look at is we'd probably just make it so easy that we'd have to look at to see as developing some sort of content strategy for YouTube. Because I have a YouTube channel that I use, but mostly I'm not active. I haven't been building or putting any content on YouTube. It's not one of my channels that I use to push content right now. Now, right now we're using the Trep Show. We're using a podcast service, Spreaker, to put out our content, right? So we would have to put together some sort of content strategy that we're going to put out and put videos out on YouTube.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
And then think about like the messaging. Because we would probably have to do something where, we would definitely have to do something where we try to align a bit of what our content is with what the Valuetainment subscribers have been expecting, what they've been getting for so long. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Continue to give them what they've been looking for. Why they go to the Valuetainment, what they get from it, what is it that they like so much that they're getting from that channel that we can also start to provide with the Trep Show.
Okay, so now let's go. Now you gave him that. I'm going to ask a few more questions to probe a little bit more. So now we're talking about what he's doing, company growth, opportunities, sales funnels, and all this. And what I'm trying to say is, okay, you want to do your marketing plan, or you're doing research or R&D on the type of content out there. Okay, what is a way to funnel out or to categorize the type of person that we're trying to reach? Like, how do you say this is a likely candidate?
Well, if we're still talking about Valuetainment's subscriber base, right?
I mean, like, you're trying to fulfill that need. You're trying to come in there and swoop in. Like, you know how I bought my first house? Because some person wasn't able to afford to pay for their house, and I just happened to have cash, so I got the short sale. So I had the money up front to take it to the next level. Basically, I'm saying opportunity may not necessarily be having the money, may not necessarily be this or that, but it is looking at another person's situation that somebody else can equally have access to that idea, and you capitalizing on how to expand it and to gain the most from understanding the opportunity. Because that's how any opportunity works. You may not just get millions of dollars right away, but if, like you said before, if you understand one of the principal legs, this always works. Hard work always does more than not hard work at all. Hard work always gives you an edge. It doesn't matter if it's the subscribers for Valuetainment or the subscribers for Trep Show. It's the process that I'm talking about. I'm not necessarily talking about the gains right now. I'm just talking about, let's go over a thought process, like on your whiteboard, and you're jotting down ideas. Okay, first you understand there's a need, so now I'm gonna try to figure out how to reach them. Okay, so he has a particular group of people already going there. What next? How do you get people? How do you know these people are looking for them in the first place? What do you use? I know you use ClickFunnels, and I know you use different CRM methods, and you wait for responses for this right here. So I'm just asking, like, hey, talk about that kind of stuff, because that's the kind of stuff that he talks about. The real intimate, nitty gritty, like, these are little things you got to do if you really want to understand this digital hustle.
Well, the first thing we could probably do is start coming out with content, publishing videos each week, and put out a number of them each week, focusing on, like, talking about Valuetainment shutting down, or Patrick Bet David not producing content for Valuetainment anymore, right? So we could just come up with a variety of different video topics and produce some content like that. So people searching for Valuetainment are actually going to find ours.
So, and when I'm going to tell, like, the people out there, because now we're going to talk, I'm going to just kind of level what I'm doing, like, you know, what you would do on top of that. I'm just saying, if somebody was out there that was wanting to do this, because that's what I'm saying, I'm being very open and transparent. Like, if somebody's really trying to do that, when you're making your videos, how long would your videos be? And then, how would you tag those videos? So you got to be paying attention to that kind of stuff. So now we're getting to the second leg. So you know the opportunity's there. Now you're working on, okay, this is what he was doing. Let's find ourselves in that workspace. Okay, now what's the next leg? How do you infiltrate another person's setup and then let people know that I'm the next person to pay attention to? What is the turning point? What is the turning point in this leg of things you can do to really work on this opportunity that we're seeing?
Well, we could probably use some of the other things that people on YouTube are used to. Like, you know, when they do reactions, right? That's one thing I've noticed YouTubers, when they're trying to spin off of like a large search topic, maybe it's getting a lot of traffic, then a no-name YouTuber will just do a react, right? Like, let's say some hot new artist came out and they came out with a brand new song and everybody's watching it and it's trending on YouTube. Then so some other YouTube person will just say reaction to so-and-so song title, right? Because people are going to search for that artist and that song title so they can watch it. So I think that would be one hack that we can come up to do. And for anybody listening too, if you want to jump on that opportunity, it's something that you can also do yourself. And this being if YouTube's a channel that you want to grow.
Yeah. So that's the turning point. Okay. And once you have the turning point, there's 4 legs. You find the opportunity, you seize the opportunity, you have your turning point, and then you capitalize. So when I say you seize it in the first level of it, it's like you start working towards that opportunity. Like, even if you're talking about it, you're putting things in stone. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Thoughts are words.
Yeah.
Words are actions.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. Yeah. You know, and I think paying attention, like staying in your space, you know, because like when we were talking about this show beforehand, what were we talking about? We're always looking for content, looking for something going on in the world of entrepreneurship, right? And that each time when I talk to you before the show and after our previous show, we are always looking for, like, you know, what's going on like right now, so we can stay current, that's relevant for entrepreneurship, that people are going to be excited about. One thing that I was always impressed by, what I learned a long time ago about this author, Mary Clark Higgins. Now, this could be a way that maybe some traps listening to the show could think about how to produce something that's compelling and to start building a brand so that people get to know them for something. When Mary Clark Higgins is a really successful author, and one of the strategies she said she used for coming up with these crime suspense novels and these thrillers was, she said she would read the local newspaper and look for thrilling, for like some murder or something like that, that was like some sort of a suspense type material. And then she would just change it into her story. So she wasn't always just making up everything out of thin air. She was actually looking at real life, like things that were in the news, and then she was spinning it and turning it into a novel, using it for some material to give her some ideas to work with, and so she could stir up her creativity. I think Treps could do that too when you're coming up with your content. You know, you're like running your business. You want to look for something that's relevant. So, like, she's a suspense novel writer, so she's looking for crime. She's looking for murder. She's looking for anything like that happening in the news to use to like fuel her writing. I think we could do that as Treps too. You know, you look for content, look for something that's happening in the real world, like current news, that you can try to give you some ideas, maybe something to spin off of to create your own product and service. And that's actually something I'm going to use for this opportunity that we're talking about with Valuetainment channel, announcing 2 days ago that they're shutting down. And this is giving us content right now, right, that we're talking about for the show. And it's given us a pretty strong possibility to do something more for the Truck Show and possibly start adding YouTube, right? Because that's what we're discussing right now. Is this a big enough opportunity that we should go and focus on building the YouTube channel that I have with past Truck Shows?
Mm-hmm. And I think, just me thinking, like, look, man, the infrastructure is already there. Why don't you just capitalize? You've been waiting for this break. Now you got the break. You might as well just be able to look at this. And I'm not trying to like persuade you to go in any direction, but really like turn the lights on and be like, okay, this is what I'm going to do now. Because I know a lot about, tagging and SEO and all the other stuff when it comes to YouTube videos and stuff. And that can be the way to get in there. I mean, we did say that he was a competitor early on in what we were doing. We were basically the same type.
He was one of the respected competitors, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I just don't consider like Gary Vaynerchuk or what's his name, Tony Robbins as real competitors, because
that's true.
They're like, people are just gonna just ride them for no reason. Like, oh, it's Gary Vaynerchuk. They just got the name now. They're the name brand pair of sneakers right now. Yeah.
Yeah, like Jordans, right? Some people going out and buying Jordans, they don't even know why they want them.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because everybody else wants them.
Yeah. So I feel like that's going to be fading because we're in this new era where people don't really like want to listen to somebody tell them something. They want to see it actually being done. And I feel like, hey, we can get put in this situation. Maybe that's the reason why. Or we can really show people ways. Like, I feel like, I don't know. He got 400,000 followers or subscribers. So
yeah, that's a good amount, right?
Yeah.
Well, so the one thing I mentioned was, in creating some content in direct response to Valuetainment shutting down. We could do that.
Yeah.
Another thing was, what are some other hacks that we could do that we can come up with? Hey man, and I challenge anybody out there listening, if YouTube's something that you've been wanting to grow too, man, join us in this challenge. See what you can do to take advantage of this opportunity.
Yep. And let's see who wins. Because it's always a competition.
And so if this is something that you're actually going to do, why don't we come up with something? Why don't we come up with a place that people can let us know that they're actually joining the YouTube challenge?
Yeah. I was going to say it, the YouTube challenge. So we need to go ahead, like I'm telling you, start getting this on your Facebook, start putting this on your groups, Start posting on your Instagram. Start getting the word out there. Like, hey, we're taking over. Trep Show is taking over that Pat David. You know, we're going to assume that responsibility.
Let's do it. Well, for those of you listening out there, we'll make a post inside Trep Talk Facebook group. So if you're not a member, make sure you join, request membership, and we'll post about all the news about the YouTube challenge in there.
And this is how you come up with stuff, man. This is real live and raw, like two people like looking at opportunity, and we're just doing it live on air, and we're going to show you. We're going to do our parts, and you're going to start seeing, like, we're going to have screenshots of our YouTube videos, and you're just going to see, like, we're taking this seriously. This is a real opportunity, and I don't think people out there understanding that a person is stepping down with 400,000 people on board. So there is a slithering of a chance, and we got to just have content hitting hard, and you just got to do it.
That's right. I'm writing in my notes right now as you tell this that we're going to post in our Facebook group about the YouTube challenge.
Yep. And join us.
How many of you can join us with this? Let's make this a big deal. You know, let's help each other too. I think we can support each other in doing this YouTube challenge.
I know. Hey, send us content and we'll use it. And if it's good, we'll put it on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I have like something that I'm working with that it basically is a shout out to interesting things. So if it's interesting, you can get a shout out, and that's how you can start up. So I just think this is a good direction to go, and that's the reason why I was like, before when we were talking, when you said that, I was like, did you just hear what you just said? And you're like, are you listening to me? I was like, bro, I'm really listening to what you're saying. And I was waiting for you to be like, okay, this is what we're going to do. Like, completely change the plan up. That's what I was waiting for you to do. Because I instantly thought that way. So I was like, hey, we have this open forum for talking. I'm just going to go ahead and like try to help you get to that point to where you can see what I was trying to say. The silence, the thought of like, look, bro, you just found something. How are you going to use that? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, well, here it is, man. There's the announcement right there. We're doing the YouTube challenge. And if you want to find out all the details about it, our progress and other people's progress, make sure you ask to join the Facebook group of Trep Talk.
Yep. Let's fulfill the need. The real entrepreneur provides.
That's right. So we're gonna put our mouth where our feet are right now on this one, right?
Yeah.
So we can provide for our listeners and bring them in and get engaged with them on a challenge.
Yeah.
We haven't done a challenge with our listeners yet, so this would be the first one. I think this is a good way to get involved with the group.
Yep. This is where it's at, man. We gotta do what we have to do to get there, you know. I feel like we're getting there, man.
You know, and this is one opportunity I think we can talk about for the Treps out there. And we know when we were talking about the different opportunities that we just see as, you know, trending as bubbles right now, and media publishing you were mentioning is one of them, right? Mm-hmm. It's been a topic for quite a few years because a lot of people are trying to figure out how to run their business online. Like, social media has changed the way people think about making money, right, and running a business, and the internet has obviously done that. But more and more people are realizing that the difference the internet brings is, imagine you didn't have the internet. Mm-hmm. So imagine you were back in like the 80s and you wanted to start a business. Most likely people would think, oh, I got to get professional, so I got to go open a store. You know, I got to invest all this money into make my business look up and professional to get people to come and buy from me. I think that's probably one of the worst ways to start a business, because people aren't going to buy from you just because you have a fancy, established business somewhere. I think mostly they're going to buy from you because of the people they're engaging with. So
Yeah.
is this somebody that you can like? Is it somebody you know, trust them? Lots of businesses have started out of their garage, right? Like people are working so hard on an idea, and heck, they don't even have anything together, and they're just in a garage, and they get people turned on to want to invest or want to buy something from them.
And I just think it's interesting you saying that. Yeah,
is really important.
You made a really good point by saying, like, you don't really have to have all this fancy stuff, man, because we don't have like the best microphone, but we just have quality. Mm-hmm. I feel, and the thing about it is, you said it right, man. Like those Gary Vaynerchuk's, and I'm not saying anything about other people or Grant Cardone or all these other people out there. A lot of the reasons why people show up to their events is because there's other people that are going there. It's not even necessarily them. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like you go to these events and you know that you're not going to get no one-on-one with Grant without paying any money. Mm-hmm. It's very rare that somebody will go out of their way to help out the little guy, because that's taken away from their going after the opportunity. And I feel like, hey, Pat David was one of those guys that was really just like doing it for the cause. And he's like, look, mm-hmm. I put my work in. Now there's somebody else that can come in and they can take over the lead. Then, you know, we can figure out what to do. So this is your chance, man. This is your opportunity. You saw it. You found it. How you gonna capitalize on it? And I'm here to help you out, bro. But
yeah, that's right.
You found it, man.
Hey, we're gonna do this.
We've been consistent. Sure.
So, because those of you listening out there right now, are you gonna do it? Is YouTube a channel that you wouldn't want to grow? You've been trying to figure out what to do with it. Hey, man, forget about trying to figure it all out first. Just start and then figure it out later.
Yes.
So join us on the YouTube channel.
Yep.
YouTube challenge, and look for us in the Facebook group.
Yep. I'm about to post something in the group right now.
We got quite a bit going. Let's see what kind of buzz we can get for going with that. I think it'll be good engagement, get people to draw back into the Facebook group we've had.
Mm-hmm. I know some people.
Other opportunities, when we're talking about, while we're on opportunities and we're seeing what people can talk about with their business, with their business is really look at the opportunities that are going on out there and just see if there's one growing and it's like a big bubble. Just try, if it's something that's related to your business, try it, do something with it, see if you can make some money with it before that bubble bursts, right? So it's good to understand a lot what's going on in the market and not just hate on people for doing something, right? Like, for example, Facebook ads, like I see a lot of bogus ads, which is fine. But what it shows me is that there's so many people trying to get into a space and offer and make some money with it. It's starting to show me that there's this bubble going on, right? And if it's a bubble, so whatever's being sold today, there could be, let's say there's X amount of demand today. Next week, there could be 2X amount of demand, right? So if you get into that market and try to make some money with it, well, the demand's going to grow up because it's a bubble. It's just a matter of getting in, making as much money with it as you can before it bursts. Because when it bursts, then obviously you want to see, well, what's something new? What's something that's not tired that people haven't found that could serve these people? Because when I see bubble bursts, I see there's been a problem. There's been too much or something, and now people, maybe the need changes, or maybe they just want something more. They want something better.
Yeah.
So you could look at it as opportunities for the trucks out there listening is try looking at really all those ads you see going on. If there's so much of it, I mean, you obviously don't have to believe every single ad, what they're saying, like everybody's making $100,000 a month, when they say baloney stuff like that. Some are, but there's probably a lot of them that aren't. They're just trying to promote that. But you could look at it like, if it's being advertised so much, obviously there's a lot of attention to it. There's maybe some opportunities that you could offer that, because chances are, if you're seeing so many ads about it and don't understand it, other people are seeing ads. So if you make it a new offer inside your business in some way to provide service and products to people, you're gonna have to spend less time convincing them about it because they've already heard of it, right? So there's already that familiarity with the product or service that you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm just really inspired, man.
Like that, I see good opportunities. What do you think?
I see. We have to understand the angle that we need to dial in on the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is going to give us the most of what we already have to offer, and use that to build into what we're doing? Because this is a big deal, man. If you do it right, man, this is what happens, man. This is how people find oil. This is how people find gold. Somebody does something, and they've been working hard for something already, and they're just able to just take the information they already got and just put it out there and take care and fulfill that need. And just get right into that hole that was just, or that whatever, and take control over that and really, manage the process to your benefit.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I'm just saying, man. This is good news.
There's a lot out there that we can do. The other thing that I've seen as an opportunity that's been interesting to me, because I don't understand it well, is the Amazon e-commerce, right? Like, of course, I know they're selling products. You got to have products. You got to have inventory somewhere. There's got to be inventory management. Maybe you're using the Shopify store, but really, like, I lately, when I keep seeing these ads on it, at first I was not interested, but when you start seeing so many of them, and then I start wondering, like, really, what's this thing about? I'm kind of curious now, like, how is the partnership working between a person that wants to do a dropship business and Amazon? I see ads like that all the time. Do you see them?
Yeah. Dropship. I mean, there's this thing that I talked about before. It's called Bonfire. Just another way where, if you want to.
What's Bonfire?
Bonfire is like a T-shirt thing. bonfire.com. And basically is, you have a design, you go onto this website, you build a campaign. The campaign lasts like 15 days. And all you got to do is sell X amount of shirts. And then you set the price. And it shows you how much profit you're going to make off each shirt. So the minimum price or the maximum. So normally, if you want to make $5 or $10 on a shirt, or $5 off a shirt, you want to sell it around $15, $15.99, and you make around $5 a shirt. But it's unlimited amount of shirts that can be bought if you can campaign it right, if you have the right campaign. So it's just, all you got to do is just really know how to get people to buy an idea, like to be vested in something. And if you can do it, you can make money. And it's just that simple. But, people have that desire to do certain things? Like, not everybody's all up for it. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things where you got to work on that aspect of it. But
yeah,
it's there. It's a possibility. But yeah, man, I'm really motivated for you, man, because I'm glad that you brought that up, and you started to see while we're doing the show, like, wait a second. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
This is an opportunity that I could possibly, capitalize on.
Yeah, for sure. Because we got an audience there that's no longer going to be getting any of that new content.
Yep.
And they're going to go somewhere.
And why not it be you?
Looking for it.
Yep.
Why not be us? Why not be the Trip Show?
Yep.
So it's a good challenge. It's a good something to be. I'm looking forward to it as well, to engage with people out there listening to the Trip Show.
Yeah.
So if you want to join in with us on the YouTube challenge, make sure you request and get active in our Facebook group, the Trep Talk, and let's get rolling on it. Let's help grow your YouTube channel as well.
Somebody already brought it up in the group.
Oh, did they? Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll make sure to get back to you. And we'll work on this idea that we had just fresh off the show, right? This was raw. This was unrehearsed. It wasn't even planned. That idea we actually decided to run with that idea right here on the show today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like this beat so much, man. This beat is so dope.
Yeah. It's a good one.
Kid Ocean.
And I think we're going to run and try to really make this YouTube challenge something special. We're not even going to get bogged down by the planning of it. So excuse if it looks a little rough and raw around the edges, but I think this is going to be something that we just want to get rolling.
You just got to get going because it's going to lead to the big event that we've been talking about, you know, the web conference. And we're just building into it. We're getting names up. We'll get prices and all the other stuff out there in the future. But right now, we're just trying to get that catalog of people and ideas and getting the right people to show up to do, you know, talk about different things. Because we live in this digital world, man, and sometimes you can't leave and go to this big, huge summit. So why don't we just bring it to the computer? Real individuals that want to make a change and grow and be something on this digital hustle screen. Gary Digital over here is going to be, you know, spearheading it, and I'll try to do whatever I can from how I can. But we're definitely getting that together, and definitely go to the website, subscribe. I always share these videos on my personal channel on YouTube, and if you want the information, contact me and I'll give it to you. But I just put these out here, just a video of the audio onto the actual YouTube page. But we're about to do something big, and just stay tuned. And
that's right.
Yeah. Trip Show. Peace.
Thanks for joining, everybody.
And then you hear that sound in the background.